Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. So this is my 2015 F150. I started running into a little bit of an issue. Now I have 82,000 miles on the truck. I have it modified, not too crazy in terms of performance. I'm running an S&B filters intake as well as an MBRP catback. And as for the tune, I'm running a 5-star 93 performance tune. That's it, nothing crazy. Before the S&B filter intake, I was actually running an InGen dual intake for about 15,000 miles. No issues, didn't have any problems. And then as soon as I installed the S&B, I started running into one code. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's just because it's a new intake, it's flowing more, it just needs to be reset. I've reset it, and I'm still having the same issue. And that issue is actually a P0131 code. What that actually is the sensor 1 bank 1 O2 sensor. Now, my issue is a little bit different. I was thinking it was tuning related, but I'll clear the code. I can drive a million miles and the code will never come on. The second time I start the truck back up, then the light pops on within 2 to 3 minutes of starting. There's no issues with the truck idling weird, running bad, nothing. It runs perfectly fine. Just that stubborn light comes on after the second start after I cleared it. So it's like, you know what? Let me try a different tune. Let me flash it back to stock. Let's try and see what's going on. Flash it back to stock, same thing. Then I flash it to the SCT tunes off the actual SCT tuner. Same thing. So I also reached out both to 5-star as well as S&B filters to kind of get their take on it and see if there was anything that they've seen this before. 5-star said that their tune wouldn't offset the code for the P0131. Honestly, I was kind of finding that hard to believe, but you know, they do know more than me. So I was like, okay, I'll let it go. So I also talked to S&B and they were super helpful as well. They went over all the different options and everything that I can do. Very, very quick replies and everything. So huge shout out to S&B filters. Basically, they were saying that their intake wouldn't affect that either. So I started doing a couple things, doing some trial and error. As I mentioned, I tried changing tunes to see if that would affect it. That didn't change it. Another thing that I did was clean both MAF sensors. I pulled each one of them out and they were absolutely filthy. They were gunked in a bunch of stuff and I cleaned them with MAF cleaner and it actually ran a little bit better and I wasn't having the code pop on as soon. So I was like, oh, maybe I fixed it. And then sure enough, it popped back on and I was like, you know what? I know what I need to do. Let's just get it done. So I went out to Advanced Auto and I picked up a new O2 sensor. So as I mentioned, P0131 is the passenger side first sensor bank 1. So again, passenger side, it's going to be before the cat, and this is it. So if you're looking for the part number, DY1185 8F9Z 9F472H. This is what it looks like. This is the stock OEM O2 sensor. I didn't want to use any aftermarket or anything. This is Motorcraft. This is what's currently in the truck. So I wanted to get the exact same one. I also picked up an O2 sensor socket as well. These are the ones have the slit in the back so you're able to safely remove them. Now the only issue or the only thing that's going to be kind of a pain in the butt on this is that my truck has 82,000 miles on it. So I'm hoping that the O2s or the O2 isn't seized on there and it's not going to give me too much trouble, but we'll find that out. I'm going to use a big wrench and breaker bar, and this is the proper socket to use so you don't strip it. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get under the truck and I'll show you where we're working. All right, so I'm under the truck. This is the passenger side. That's the front of the truck. And if we look right under, there's a little kind of cover. Just remove that. Those are 8 millimeters. There's 4 of them. Once you remove that, you're greeted with the cat right here. So if we look right at the top of the cat, right there, that is the sensor. And also the plug is also right there. So pretty easily accessible. It's just a matter of getting to it. And I do suggest getting that socket, that O2 socket, so it really gets a good grasp and grip onto the sensor. Now, I was just driving this not too long ago. I didn't go too far, but the cat is still pretty warm, so I got to be careful not to burn myself. But yeah, so there it is. So we're going to go ahead and throw the sensor on there. Also, I do recommend throwing some PB Blaster on there or some type of lubricant to try to break up any of the rust that may be seized on there. We will see. Hopefully everything goes as planned and we don't have any issues, but yeah, so let's first kind of break that loose and then we can go ahead and start unplugging things and unscrewing it. So let's get that done. All right, guys, so the tool that I got, the socket or the O2 sensor socket, just doesn't work. And the reason is because you get no leverage when you're under there. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But what I ended up using, thankfully I had it, is actually brake. I use these for my brakes, is a whole set of, what do you call it? Double-ended flare nut wrench set. And I had a 22 millimeter, which is the size of the O2 sensor. The really nice thing about this is, as you can see, it's almost completely rounded, but there's a little gap right there, so you can bleed brakes. And this really came in clutch. Now, as you can see, it's pretty short, so I just extended it with the largest wrench that I had, the 18 millimeter, and I was able to break it free. Thankfully, I was getting kind of nervous because I wasn't able to use the tool that I just got, and I couldn't get it loose, and I didn't want to strip anything, but we got it loose. So I'll go under and show you exactly how I did it. And if you are doing this on the same truck, I recommend getting the O2 socket that has, you know, it's just the head of this, and then you put a ratchet into it, because let's get under and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so if we go ahead and put the socket that I got on like so, you only have this much room to get a wrench in there and try to break it free. And there's so much extension here that it kind of starts slipping off of the nut part of the sensor, and I wasn't liking that because it was starting to kind of strip, or at least if I pushed hard enough it would have. So I didn't really like how much space was here, and I wasn't able to really get good leverage. So I ended up using the flare nut wrench that I mentioned, but as you can see, you can slip it right over the sensor and get it right onto that nut like that. And then I took my 18 millimeter, put it right here, and I was able to hold onto the flare nut wrench and this one for extra leverage, and I broke it free. So now all I gotta do is, as you can see, it's loose, unscrew it and unplug it from up there. So let me get the sensor out first, and then we'll unplug it there, and then we'll compare and see if there's anything damaged on this one. All right, so I guess it's easier to unplug the sensor first, so it's not twisting up the wire. Not that it really matters, because apparently this one's junk. But there is a little black clip up here. All you do is pull the blue wire out of it. It's just holding it in there, and then it's completely free like this. So if you look on the bottom of the plug there, there's a little tab right here. All you gotta do is push that in, and then the plug comes out of that. So let me do that. I can't do it with the camera in my hand, and then we'll unscrew the sensor. All right, we got the sensor unclipped, so now we can unscrew it from the exhaust. And here we go. Here is the sensor. Looks pretty gunked up, but let's go ahead and compare it on the workbench. All right, so here is the old one. Here is the new one. Obviously this looks nice and new, but definitely a lot of carbon buildup on there. Get a little bit better shot. But I mean, there's no really telltale signs of it showing that it's failing, but if you hook it up to a computer, you can read it out. But I kept on getting the codes, so it's kind of only pointing to this thing. So, all right, so it's as simple as just doing exactly what I did in reverse. All you gotta do is screw it down. Make sure you tighten this down a good amount. Now, when you tighten this down, there is a crush washer already on there. You wanna make sure that is properly torqued down and crushed for it to seal properly. Also, as you can tell, it already comes with anti-seize on the threads, which is really nice. Thank you, Motorcraft. And yeah, we're good to go. And all we gotta do is just plug it back in, and we can go for a test drive and see if it fixes it. I really hope so, because this is kind of my last resort. Otherwise, I'm gonna be scratching my head. So let's get this back in the truck. All right, guys, sensor is installed. We got everything plugged back in. We got the wire clipped on the little black clip there. So I was finding it difficult to tighten down the sensor with this because there's only so many sides, and you have to turn it a decent amount to be able to wrench it again. So I actually found you can stick your hand up through here, through the wheel well right there, there's an opening, and then you can grab the wrench from the top and tighten it this way. So I was able to kind of go from top and bottom and get it knocked out. So yeah, there we go, sensor's in, nice and tight. You wanna make sure, again, that's as tight as you can. So the crush washer is indeed crushed and sealed, and we're good to go. I just gotta put that little cover back on, and we can go for a test drive and see if this fixes it. All right, guys, so I am 99.9% sure we are in the clear. I have restarted this truck probably about 10 to 15 times, and the light has not come back on. I've been driving around for about 20 miles or so, and at this point, previously, before I changed the O2, there obviously the light popped on at that point, and it has not popped on. I did a bunch of different driving scenarios, under load, you know, full throttle, just cruising around and everything, and it is not popping up. So at the end of the day, the way that I like to resolve things is start with the cheapest option first. So for me, the order of events that I tried was, one, change the tune. I went from the SCT, which I already had, and I also went back to stock, which I already had. Didn't change a thing. Then I went to the MAF sensor cleaning, which I already had MAF sensor cleaner. I'll leave a link below for that as well. There's two, as I mentioned. There's one in front and one under the engine cover. Got those cleaned up. They were filthy. It did help with the overall just smoothness of the truck, I noticed. So that is a plus. And then eventually we ended up replacing the O2. I ended up getting for, I think it was like 102 bucks or so. So not the end of the world, not the most expensive fix. Did it myself. It, no joke, probably took about 30 to 45 minutes with filming. So a very, very simple fix. And I'm super happy to finally have no codes on the truck after installing the new intake. So one of the things I love about the Raxium vent gauge here is that I'm able to clear and look at codes on this thing, which was really, really nice on the fly. So when I went to clear this, it was really simple. I already have this hooked up. It's hooked up to the OBD2. All I gotta do is, there's two buttons right here. You just hold them both down, and then it goes to configure. And you see DTC pops up, and then you click the left button there, and now it says no code. But when there was a code, it would pop up what it was, and it said P0131. And in order to reset it, you just hold down the left button, and it would reset it, and that'll be on my way. So I'll do it as an example. Holding down the left button, and as you see, it says hold, and then it does this little thing, and then it would clear the codes. But it's not gonna do anything right now because there's no codes on the dash or anything. And then it goes back to my boost gauge that I have it set at, which I can change a bunch of different things. I've showed you, I did a whole video on this. Coolant, speed, battery voltage, RPM, shift lights, trans temp. We got the IATs, the intake temperature, 108 right now, just kind of chilling there. The exhaust gas temperature, got the ignition timing, I believe, throttle, you know, so if I give some throttle, you can see. AFRs, which is really nice. I'm not sure if that's hooked up. I don't have an AFR gauge. You have 0 to 60 times, which is really awesome, and then it goes back to your boost. Also, you can do customization on this thing, which is really nice. I've been a huge fan of this, and it's super discreet, looks really good, and it can keep an eye on my different parameters that I need to. I keep it on boost most of the time, just because I like to make sure that I'm not over boosting, which I've never had. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. Made a quick little video on this. I know a lot of people replace O2 sensors on these trucks, so I figured I'd make a video. It was my first time doing it on this truck. Super simple, very easy to access. I love working on trucks underneath because you don't have to jack anything up. I can just slip right under and get everything done. I'm so used to much lower cars and having to use quick jacks and ramps and all that stuff. So it's really nice to be able to get something knocked out, no problem, and just slip right under and get it done. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I'm gonna leave a link below for both the O2 sensor, the socket, as well as the other socket that I mentioned, the one that you can access straight to the actual sensor instead of on top like the one I have. I'm also gonna leave a link below for the MAF sensor cleaner that I use as well, so you guys can knock all that out and get your truck running as smooth as mine is right now. So if you guys have any questions at all, be sure to ask them below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.